Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Philly.
We are live from Safeco Field here in Seattle on Fox Sports West, where the Angels are getting ready for Game 3 of a 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. Halos are looking for their 7th win in the last 8 tries, try and make it 11 wins in the last 13, as the Angels have certainly been gaining ground. Mark Gubicza in the AL West standings.
Yeah, the Astros continue to struggle. They lost today in Tampa 3-0. At this point, the Angels and Astros tied. But if a victory here tonight by the Angels, they would be in first place by themselves by a half a game.
How long do we go back with each other, back to our childhood in Philadelphia?
Long time. You went to high school with my brother.
Absolutely. Terry Smith, Mark Gubicza, just trying to fill in for a couple days here in Seattle. One of the things that's been so exciting about this road trip for the Angels has been the offense supplied by Trout and Pujols.
Yeah, Terry, historic numbers when you think about what they've done here before the All-Star break. Only 4 people now have ever done this, 4 teammates. 4th time ever, and he got 26 home runs for each, which is tied for the American League lead. The M&M boys did it for the Yankees back in '61. Jose Canseco, Mo Vaughn did it for the Red Sox, and former Seattle Mariners in 1998. Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez, all with 26 or more home runs before the All-Star break. Historic numbers for these guys, and they've been crushing the baseball.
Well, Mike Trout had another big game for the Angels on this road trip. 2 home runs. It was his mother's birthday yesterday, so he was celebrating, and so was she. Trout has had 5 homers in his last 4 games, 7 in his last 10.
Yeah, Terry, what are you seeing from him right now? He's making adjustments. Pitcher's trying it, but he's crushing the ball. And take a look at our AT&T U-verse rewind. Even trying to go inside, even though the fastball is inside, it's down, and Trout got his hands inside the baseball, barreled that one up to dead center field. Pitchers try to go off speed, they try to go upstairs, but Mike Trout has been so quick, that compact swing, be able to drive the ball using the entire field. You mentioned those 5 home runs in 4 games. We're talking about home runs that have gotten out of the ballpark in a hurry and a long way.
Well, the Angels are playing exciting baseball right now and technically in first place in the AL West. When we get back, we'll find out how Cole Calhoun has gotten his power stroke back. You're watching Angels baseball on Fox Sports West.
First, here's tonight's Tools of the Trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. We're going to show you the difference between early in the season with Cole Calhoun and where his hands are set up as compared to where he's at right now, where he is absolutely tattooing the baseball. The bat is laying on his shoulder. Different stride, too, and trying to get through the baseball. The timing mechanism early on, not necessarily there for Cole, but lately, been getting that baseball, getting the barrel out because of the timing's there, the foot is there, driving the baseball exceptionally well. 364 batting average with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs on this road trip. And when we come back, we'll have the lineups and first pitch. It's the Angels Mariners Game 3 next.
Angels baseball, a beautiful Saturday night. Boy, we had some kind of a pregame ceremony. We'll talk about that with Mark Gubisaw in just a moment, but let's take a look at the Angels starting lineup tonight. The Halos in first place by 3 percentage points. You see Johnny Giavitello leading things off in the 3 spot. Mike Trout, he's been red hot. So's Albert in the cleanup spot. The Angels also have Joyce and Perez in the starting lineup tonight. The bottom 2 spots, the 8 and 9 holes, those 2 back in the starting lineup. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Angels' Mark Gubisaw will be facing Hisashi Iwakuma tonight.
Iwakuma has struggled so far this year. 9 home runs and 21 1/3 innings pitched. Fastball still 88 to 93 range. Split finger fastball, slider, curve. For me to go to, success by 2, and you get some swings against it by the first 2 pitches. 13 for 38 with 6 home runs. And also the Powerball, the home runs he's allowed this year, 9 so far.
All right, let's see how Seattle shapes up defensively tonight. And you see the way they line up. Outfield, Austin Jackson is back in there. He had been bothered by some back spasms. First time we see him in the series, he'll be in center field. Kyle Seager, a former Gold Glover over there at third base. Austin Jackson, a guy in center field tonight, Mark Gubasov.
Yeah, he covers a lot of ground. A guy who plays a shallow center field, goes back on the baseball very, very well. Pretty close to a Gold Glove caliber center fielder himself.
All right, we're ready for baseball. Here's the first pitch tonight, and it's delivered a little bit high. We're underway. The count, 1 ball, no strikes on Johnny Giavotella. Giavotella coming in, hitting .271. Infield backed up except for Seager. He's across from the bag over on the left side of the infield. Next pitch on Giavotella, and that one's in there for a called strike. Johnny Giavotella, Mark, has pretty much taken over as the Angels' leadoff man now.
He's been very solid, making those good contact type swings. Mike Scioscia, you know, when he sat him down a few weeks ago to say, I don't want fly balls, I want line drives and ground balls, and he's really bit into that and has been very good at that leadoff spot.
Yeah, he's been working the counts here on this trip as well, and here's one that he pops foul on the right side. That's going to get back and out of play. The dimensions here at Safeco Field, 331 down the left side, 401 to dead center, 326 to right in the alleys. Out in left center field, out by the Seattle bullpen, it's 376. Out in right center field, it goes 380. They have a big house here tonight, just about full house here, close to a sellout tonight. Bobblehead night here in Seattle, and the pitch, that's a little bit low and away.
Yeah, little Nelson Cruz bobblehead.
Yeah. And
the boomstick bobblehead.
Nelly Cruz.
Yes.
Waiting on deck for the Angels is Cole Calhoun. And he has been hot. He's had 3 homers for the Angels the last 10 games. Here's the 2-2 on Giavotella. And that's fouled back just below us, out of play.
And the one pitch Iwakuma, Terry, has had a tough time with of late, his slider, which was very effective against right-handed batters in the past. Right-handed batters this year hit .359 against them. Small sample size, only 21 and a third innings pitched, but 5 home runs against right-handed batters.
He just came off the disabled list on Monday, did Iwakuma, in the pitch. Another one fouled off on the right side, out of play.
Still pretty good record in his career versus the Angels, 6-2 with an ERA 3.07, but the Angels of late have had some pretty good swings against him. See those last 3 starts, ERA 7.47 for Iwakuma against the Angels.
Face the Angels, the 3rd game of the season here, and there's a pitch that misses a little bit low, so it's a full count, 3-2. Little or no breeze to speak of. Pleasant night, though, tonight here in Seattle. The retractable roof remains open, and why not?
3 straight days here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Iwakuma ready to come in with another pitch. Good at bat here for Giavotella. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. And now Giavotella steps out. When Iwakuma came off the DL and made the start Monday against Detroit, he gave up 4 home runs in that game and lasted only 5 innings. Here's the next delivery, and that one is low. So Giavotella with a leadoff walk.
In my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful, going a little the game, everybody on the floor. That means the entire lineup tonight for Mike Scioscia. He said it at the start of this road trip. He wanted balance. He wanted guys getting on base, and he also wanted guys throughout the lineup to drive in those runners. So far, so good on this road trip. An opportunity right away here with Giavotella on first, and Cole Calhoun with his 11 RBI this road trip coming to the plate.
Cole Calhoun, one of a number of hot hitters for the Angels. Of course, it's been a very good road trip. 55 runs in the 7 games so far on this trip. Angels left-handed hitting right fielder chases the first pitch, fouls it off down the left side. That's backing out of play. Cole Calhoun with 4 hits so far in the first couple games in this series, including a homer. He's had the 3 home runs his last 10 ball games. Been driving in a lot of runs. A few days ago, he had gone in front of Mike Trout in RBIs, and then all of a sudden, Trouty said, no, that's not going to happen.
He got a little angry and taking it out on the baseball.
Here's the next pitch, and that's low and outside.
Well, if you're Cole Calhoun, you got to love to be in this position, especially you mentioned Giavotella getting on base, and you got Mike Trout hitting behind you. So more than likely, you're going to get a lot of fastballs. And that's what all hitters want to hit, is a fastball.
Yep, and Cole Calhoun, a good fastball hitter. One thing about Iwakuma, he takes time between pitches. Very deliberate out there on the mound. And here's the pitch. That one is taken for a called strike. Mentioned when Iwakuma came back and made that start for Seattle on Monday, he had gone on the disabled list going back to late April. A right shoulder problem. Had a strain. And he's a guy that's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. And when he made that start here on Monday, there were a lot of scouts in the stands. There's a pitch that's low. I believe the Dodgers had someone looking at him. Washington Nationals had some scouts checking him out. So it'll be interesting to see what his future is with Seattle. A free agent at the end of the year. They could deal him before the trading deadline.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he is a very good right-handed pitcher. Get a lot of swing and miss, especially with his split-finger fastball. Very difficult to steal against. Has not allowed a stolen base yet this year. One attempt.
Here's the next pitch, 2-2. Grounded sharply on the right side, and that one is through for a base hit. So the Angels are in business here in the first inning. 2 runners on, nobody out, and red-hot Mike Trout getting ready to step up. Trout entering the game 7th in the AL in batting, tied with Albert in home runs, 26. 54 runs batted in. That ties him for 7th in the league in that department. And he has been hitting home runs of late.
It's a real test here for the Angels. This part of the lineup with Trout and Pujols combined 12 for 58 against Iwakuma, but that's the Iwakuma of the past. Taking away that slider right now, he's become more of a split-finger fastball pitcher.
He checks second. Here's the first one on Trout. And that one is in there for a called strike. Iwakuma, as you mentioned, he might be getting away from the slider. That's a pitch that hasn't worked for him this season. He used to throw a curveball, doesn't really throw that much anymore. Infield playing it at double play depth, and Trout tired of waiting on Iwakuma.
That's important as a hitter. You dictate your pace. The pitcher's taking that long to be able to deliver the baseball, or at least get the sign. You have to step out.
So it's 0-1 on Trout. Next delivery. This one is popped in the air into shallow right field. Coming in is Cruz. It's going to drop in front of him. Then he kicks it. And the Angels are going to have the bases loaded. Boy, that ball was not hit deep at all. Cano didn't get back in time. Cruz, who's playing right field tonight, didn't come in fast enough, and the Angels have them loaded.
Well, they remember that swing last night from Trout, the home run, the right center field, and because of that, he's playing deep. A pretty good breaking ball there. He went back to the slider, looked like on that pitch. Playing deep, throws his glove up there. He might have had a play if he held on to the baseball at second, because if you're Cole Calhoun, you have to wait for Giavitello to go to third before you go to second. But a break there. Now the base is loaded for Albert Pujols, the machine.
That's right. And Albert hit a home run against Iwakuma back in game 3 of the season right here. He hasn't had a whole lot of success against them in his career, though, hitting just 200. But Albert steps up with runners everywhere. Pujols, the club leader in runs batted in. Angels with a big threat first inning to pitch, and this one is popped up foul behind the plate, and Zunino is going to run out of room. It's back a few rows out of play. No balls, 1 strike.
Aggressively going after that first pitch. Mentioned as batting average against combined between the first and second pitches against Iwakuma very high, including 6 home runs against Iwakuma. So be aggressive. He throws a lot of fastballs first pitch. And that may be your best pitch to drive.
Albert's had some pretty good success this season with the bases loaded. 3 for 8, 375 batting average. He has hit a grand slam. Zunino, the catcher, fixing up his mask. Looks like a strap got fouled up. Now he's ready to get set behind the plate. 0-1 to count. Eric Ibar waiting on deck. We're just underway here at Safeco Field. No score, but the Angels are threatening. Next pitch, swing and a miss, fooled him right there.
That looked like a very good split finger fastball, Terry. I mean, good motion.
So Albert down, no balls, 2 strikes.
13 career grand slams for Albert Pujols, including a .343 batting average.
Cano is shaded towards second. They do not have the 3-man infield shift on the left side. Way off the bag at first is Montero. Here's the 0-2, and that one bounces in, blocked by Zunino.
Zunino very good as far as keeping those pitches in front. He's used to it with Iwakuma, Felix Hernandez. A number of the pitchers in this staff have that breaking ball or changeup or split that goes in the dirt. Very good as far as moving his body. Good technique keeping in front of him.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Already 18 pitches thrown here in the first inning by Iwakuma, and he's yet to retire anyone. 1-2 on Albert, and that one comes in. Boy, it almost hit him. 2-2.
Real close to getting his jersey at the very least. Runs his fastball up and in. Albert able to turn out. Now, if you're a kid watching this game at home, that's the right technique as far as when a pitch is coming inside, turn your body and your face away from the baseball. It's exactly what you want to do to avoid a major injury. Turn away from the baseball instead of turning into it.
So 2-2 on Pujols. The pitch, and that one is cut on and missed. He struck him out. Got him with a splitter right there.
Yeah, that was a good setup pitch the pitch before. Let's take a look at our pitch by Iwakuma against one of the best there is and ever has been with the bases loaded. First pitch fastball. Talked about that first pitch could be the one to drive. Missed it. Split finger fastball back to back in the dirt, and then fastball up and in to set up that split finger fastball in the inner half of the plate. That late good movement gets a swing and miss. Even if Albert makes contact, more than likely pull that one foul.
So we'll see what Ibar can do. Still bases loaded, 1 out. He's hitting .375 this year with the bases loaded. And Ibar has been swinging a hot bat of late. The pitch, he chops this one down to third. They're going to go to the plate for 1. No relay, but they do get the out on Giavitelli. Had nowhere to go. He had to come home. So that's his second out. Still no score. Now the Angels need a 2-out hit from Freese.
We saw all those good plays last night from Kyle Seager coming in. You have that force out at home plate. And that late slide by Giavitelli just to make sure that Zunino does not make the throw to first base, even though Eric Ibar was going to be able to beat that one out. Well, McClellan is going to go down to see if he was near enough to that play, but you can see him be able to reach back at the home plate, so I don't think that's an issue at all.
Had a conversation with the home plate umpire, Doug Eddings.
And you can see him coming down. As long as you can reach back with your hand, and he is, towards home plate, you can do that and try to prevent a double play from being turned.
So now Freese with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Lead runner at third is Cole Calhoun. Iwakuma's pitch. And that one, the pitch a little bit off for ball 1.
Freese has good numbers against Iwakuma. .308 batting average, 4 for 13 with a home run. It's a big at bat for the Angels right here. You have to try to find a way to score a run or 2 after loading the bases in the first inning with no outs.
Freese hitting .231 this season with the bases loaded, .245 overall. Here's the next pitch. This one is lined into right center field. Diving and making the grab on that one is Nelson Cruz. And that's how the inning is going to end. Boy, the Angels had them loaded, but didn't cash in. We've completed a half inning here from Safeco Field. Angels nothing, Seattle coming to bat. Man missed the first couple of games because of back spasms. You see Nelson Cruz batting cleanup. He just had that catch that might have robbed Freeze there. Nice play by him in right. And not a whole lot of action as far as the bottom couple in the batting order, and Miller and Zunino. On the hill for the Angels, Mark Gubicza, is C.J. Wilson, who's had a couple of good starts against them this year.
Yeah, 7-6 mark on the season, 3.82 ERA. But my go-tos for C.J., one thing he's a little bit different this year has been batting average by lefties against him, 257. Prior to that, in 12, 217, 169 in 2013, and just a little over 200 last year. Reason why I say that, because a couple of their best hitters in their lineup, Robinson Cano and Kyle Seager, both left-handed batters. It'd be key to get them out tonight if you're C.J. Wilson.
So C.J. is about ready to go, and here comes his first pitch tonight, and that one is right in there for a called strike on Austin Jackson. Angels around the infield tonight have pretty much the regular look. Here's a fly ball that's lifted into center field. Going back on it is Trout. He's under, and he will make the catch on that one. Let's check the Angels defense now. We mentioned the infield. The exception is over there at first base. C.J. Cron playing there tonight. Albert is DHing. Outfield, you see Matt Joyce in left.
You got C.J. Cron. You mentioned him playing first base. That's his 10th start this year at first. One error. Important for the communication between C.J.'s both on the mound and at first base to be able to that coverage to that right side of the infield.
So the batter now is Gutierrez. He is DHing for them, and he takes that one for a called strike. Gutierrez had a 3-hit night last night. Spent time in the minors this season. A guy that has really had a lot of health issues in recent years.
And we've noticed in the first two games of this series, Seattle hitters aggressive early. Seeing it again already in this game. They're up there hacking, looking for a fastball, first or second pitch.
Wonder if Edgar Martinez, their new hitting coach, has something to do with that. There's a pitch that's low.
Yeah, he was such a good hitter versus lefties and righties. What he does and did so well is he looks for patterns, and he sees that some clubs throw a lot of first pitch fastballs to work ahead. Well, why take that pitch when you can drive it, work the count when you see a guy throwing all speed early on, but fastballs, attack.
Here's the next delivery on the 1-2. That one is cut on and missed, and he got him, struck him out. So C.J. Wilson has set down the first two. Robinson Cano will step up.
Real good slider there from C.J. Good balance over the pitching rubber for him. And he's been utilizing all his pitches. Cut fastball, two-seam, four-seam fastballs. His curveball has been solid, and a plus changeup for him this year.
Cano's had 3 hits so far in the series, and he's been picking it up a bit. Season average not where he wants it to be, 254. There's a pitch he checks on and foul tips back behind the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Cano's on base percentage under 300, so can't be too happy about that. Here's the pitch, and that one cut on and missed. 0-2 the count.
You see a lot of swings early on. Just 8 pitches thrown so far for C.J. He's got 2 outs and ahead of this count, 0-2 against a very good hitter in Robinson Cano.
Wilson ready, and the next one. And that's high, 1-2. This lineup with 3 left-handed batters against C.J. Wilson. Lefty hitters are actually hitting a little higher against him than right-handed batters. 1-2, and that one is waved at and missed. He struck him out. Cano goes down on strikes, a pair of them for C.J. Wilson. We are scoreless after 1 in Seattle. Here's the first pitch on Crone, and that was a breaking pitch in there for a strike. Crone has been hot. He's been hitting home runs for the Angels as well. 3 homers in the last 4 games he's started. There's one outside on him. 1-1.
Yeah, he threw a curveball first pitch. He really slowed down his delivery. What that does is the hitter allows you to track the baseball much better and see something different from an arm angle and the delivery point.
Here's the 1-1 on Crone, and he hits it foul on the right side. That's going to get back to the seats and out of play. Well, it's good to see the way Crone has been swinging the bat since his latest promotion from AAA.
Yeah, a lot more confident. Paul Sorrento told me this the other day. He just needs some at-bats. It's tough for a power guy to be consistent when you're not getting enough at-bats, and he's seen some pitches of late.
There's one that's a little bit low. 2-2 the count. Crone was hitting over 320 in AAA. He's already had 4 hits so far in this series. A couple of home runs. We saw him do that last night. 2-2. This one he pops up on the left side, shallow left field. The shortstop Miller is going back, and he will put it away for the first out. Angel fans, don't forget the Halos take on the Boston Red Sox next Saturday, 6:05. Fans in attendance receive a Nitto Eco bag, courtesy of Nitto Tire, while supplies last. Purchase tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or at angels.com.
Smitty, that'll look perfect when you bring it with you on your next road trip.
There you go. Looking forward to getting one of those. Here's Matt Joyce at the bat. Joyce is hitting 195. And he cuts at the first pitch and fouls that one back behind the plate.
He's certainly elevating some pitches. Even that pitch he threw to C.J. Crone, he got lucky on that one. C.J. just got underneath that swing. That was a pitch he's going to crush most times. And that same pitch there to Matt Joyce, right out over the plate and elevated.
Here's the 0-1, and that one is high. Yeah, that first inning, as much as the Angels have been hitting on this road trip, it's hard to believe they didn't cash in.
It's almost like they got too aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, they've done such a good job, that adjustment on this trip. This serving the ball to all fields is trying to, whatever the pitch is thrown, is trying to use that part of the field. Like he got pole happy there.
Here's the 1-1 on Joyce. That's pop back foul. If you didn't hear it earlier today, the Astros were shut out at Tampa Bay 3-0. So the Angels, going into tonight's action here against Seattle, actually have a 3 percentage point lead. Virtual tie for first place right now. The Angels win, they'll have a half game lead on the Astros. If the Angels drop this game, they'll be a half game behind them. There's a pitch that's low. But the one thing about the Astros, they are really struggling. They've lost 5 in a row, and they've scored a total of 4 runs in their last 5 games.
You know, we always were wondering when that was going to happen. There's a lot of swing and misses in that lineup. They rely so much on the home run ball. But when you make good pitches, you're not going to give up home runs.
2-2 on Joyce. He chops that one foul, first base side. Here we are, second week in July. You kind of wondered the direction both of these two teams are going to be going in as we get closer to the trading deadline. The 2-2 on Joyce, and he takes that one and nipped the inside corner. It looked like a fastball there. Called third strike. That's out number 2.
You almost guessing Matt Joyce for something all speed. Got a fastball. That one at 93, his best fastball. Even though it was supposed to be away, you see Zunino reaching back, but it certainly caught the strike zone according to our Fox tracks. Now, you mentioned about potential trade talks. So Bill Stoneman saw on the pregame show with Ken French talking about that subject, and he's we both know him so well. What a great guy, and he's certainly going to try to do whatever it takes to make this team even better.
There's a pitch in there on Carlos Perez for a called strike. Perez comes in hitting .232, but just 1 for his last 16. Hasn't been getting as much playing time the last few weeks as Iannetta has heated up a bit. There's a pitch taken for a ball, 1-1. Perez has had pretty good success when working with C.J. Wilson. One of the reasons he's behind the plate with C.J. tonight. Here's the 1-1, and that's a shot by the mound, but right behind second, waiting to stop it on one hop is Cano. He will throw him out, and it's a clean inning for Iwukuma. Angels go down 1-2-3, a 6 in a row retired. We're heading to the bottom of the second, no score. Home runs, RBIs, and batting average. He's hitting .304. Here's the pitch. Takes that one for a called strike from C.J. Wilson.
Well, he did it with the glove in the top of the first inning. That was an outstanding play. That probably is going to drive in 3 runs. That ball hit by David Freese, but he dives and makes an outstanding play.
Next pitch, and that one is low. 1-1 the count on Cruz. He's been doing a lot of DHing for them, but an outfielder by trade. Next delivery, lines that one into center. That's going to be their first hit of the night. Angel fans, we want to remind you it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WestDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile.
Nice. Pretty cool. Well, Nelson Cruz now 8 for 17 in his career versus C.J. Wilson.
So here's Seager at the plate, and the left-handed hitter takes that one for a ball. Seager's had a good series so far with 4 hits. He has a little 4-game hitting streak. Some of the power numbers are down for him so far this season. He was an all-star a year ago. Next delivery, that's low. 2-0.
This is 4 for 39 in his career versus CJ. But that he had a home run last game, but he got a fastball on the inside part of the plate. Now remember, it was a pretty good hitter's count. Similar to this, what is it he's in right now, 2-0. He's always looking to try to turn on something from a left-handed pitcher here. So if you're CJ, just exploit that, throw something down and away and get a ground ball double play.
Wilson's 2-0, and that's cut on and missed. 2 balls, 1 strike on Kyle Seager. Mark Trumbo, the former Angel, waiting on deck. Wilson's next pitch, and that missed outside. So CJ's fallen behind 3-1.
Talked about double play balls for CJ since 2010. CJ Wilson just second behind Rick Porcello, just one behind him. Certainly one of those counts too. You think fastball, get a ground ball in an infield to get 2 from it.
3-1 pitch. That's lined into right. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Cruz will stop at second, and Seattle has something brewing here with 2 on, nobody out for Trumbo.
Pitch was elevated, it was 92, but it hitters count. And that's what CJ's trying to avoid. Another hit by a lefty against CJ, which is surprising this year. Very hittable fastball, and to stay back on it. Well, that's a good swing from Kyle Seager, though. The smooth through the baseball, hits that in the right field.
So Trumbo, who has been heating up a bit, although his numbers overall with Seattle are not too good, just a .214 average, but he's had a pretty good series here. 3 for 6, home run, couple of RBIs. He digs in against CJ Wilson in the pitch. That one is a strike on the outside corner. A couple of former teammates squaring off here. Trumbo actually has a 6-game hitting streak. Overall, batting .243 between Arizona and Seattle. Next pitch, and he cuts it that one and misses it. So CJ has him down 0-2.
That's a good hard slider from CJ.
Trumbo, that straight up batting stance of his, awaits the next pitch, and here it comes. That's low. Ball popped off the mid of Perez, but quickly retrieves it in the batter's circle.
Boy, Perez is very good too. Also, 2 very good defensive catchers in this game, especially as far as blocking pitches in the dirt. Getting that body over quickly, not allowing that baseball to get too far away. So if you're a base runner with a good secondary lead, you could advance. Couldn't do that on Carlos Perez there. Solid job.
So Wilson is ready to come in with the 1-2. And that's another one low, and another ball blocked by Carlos Perez.
It's a product of that 0-1 swing from Trumbo, swinging over top of a breaking ball. CJ's trying to back to back. And you just keep seeing that Trumbo wants to swing it. If it's close enough in that zone, I think he will get a swing and miss. But be careful anything upstairs against Trumbo. He has great power when there's an elevated pitch.
3 for 14 lifetime against CJ Wilson. 2-2 delivery. He cuts it. That one fouls it off right side out of play. Jesus Montero, they just called up from AAA for this series. He's waiting on deck. He's had a few ups and downs with Seattle in recent years. Here's the next pitch, and that one inside. So it's a full count on Trumbo.
I still think CJ is going to go back to his breaking ball down and in. And the one thing Trumbo told me today about Edgar Martinez, the new hitting coach, he says, look for your pitch. Don't look for the pitcher's pitch. And what that means is don't expand your strike zone in certain counts to look for the pitcher's pitch. Look for yours and hope to get one in that sequence.
Here's the 3-2, and he walked him. It was up and in. He came upstairs with a fastball there. And now runners everywhere. Nobody out.
From a quick 0-2 count to a walk. That's why I was surprised he went 3 straight fastballs upstairs. Even though he laid off a couple of those breaking balls down and in, he was close to chasing. And Trumbo is an RBI producer. You don't necessarily want to walk in that spot. You want to drive the ball, so you exploit that when you're on the mound, an aggressive hitter, to get him to swing at something out of his zone.
So here's Montero. And Mike Butcher, the Angels pitching coach, out there to try and calm down C.J. Wilson. Well, the Angels had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning, failed to score. Now Seattle bases loaded, nobody out here in the second inning. We'll see how their inning plays out. Montero playing in just his second game this season with Seattle. It's in 6 games for them a year ago, and going back a little further, up and down with the Mariners after they got him a few years ago from the Yankees. So bases jammed, nobody out, no score. There's a pitch inside. 1-0.
Like CJ wanted that pitch, but looked like about a half a baseball off the inside corner. The all-important first pitch you want to throw for a strike with the bases loaded.
CJ is ready. And the next pitch. And that one he checked on. Did he go around? No. The appeal to Andy Fletcher, the first base umpire. The home plate umpire tonight is Doug Eddings, and he is a strike caller. He's known as a pitcher's umpire. So usually if it's around the plate, he's going to call the strike.
Got to believe CJ's got to go fastball here, but try to keep it down. Get a ground ball in an infielder. Get two. You'll give up that run for a double play ball.
And here's one bounce foul on the third base side. 2 balls, 1 strike. Last time we saw C.J. Wilson was on Sunday, and that was in Arlington. Angels won that game 12-6. Wilson got the win. He's won his last 2 starts and 4 of his last 5 starts, but he's worked himself into trouble here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Second inning. Next pitch, and that's low. So it's 3-1. Brad Miller waiting on deck. So CJ has to come in with a strike here. A walk would force in a run. He's set. Here's the pitch. And he walked him. 1-0 Seattle. Pitch was low.
And in that sequence, we're going to take a look at that against Montero, who's got decent numbers, 3 for 9 in his career versus CJ. Little slider just off the inside corner. Wanted that pitch. Another breaking ball well off the inside corner. And he went fastball. Good spot right there. An excellent pitch from CJ. Then a fastball tried to go back out. It was down. Then pulled that front shoulder open a little too quick. And he pulled the fastball down and out of the strike zone.
So the back-to-back walks haven't helped. Still nobody out. Still the bases loaded. Here's Miller. Seattle shortstop at the plate. His first time up. He's their 8-hole hitter. First pitch, that's low.
That's a good play by Carlos Perez. Even though David Freese wasn't by the base, it makes you aware as a base runner you're not going to get that big of a secondary lead. So a ground ball at a corner infield, you still have a good play at the plate.
Doug Eddings actually called that first pitch a strike, so CJ might have gotten a little break on it. That one's definitely in there, and it's taken for a strike. It's 0-2. Well, Doug Eddings a strike caller, and
you had a good call on that one.
Yep. Now we see the roof is starting to close now here at Safeco Field as play can continue with that going on. Here's the pitch, and this one is tapped foul right by the plate. So apparently some weather coming in that they're anticipating, and they want to close things up. Quite a scene to see that roof moving as play just goes on.
It's a beautiful field. They did a great job. Everything about this field.
Yep. So it's 0-2 here on Miller. Wilson's pitch. This one is lifted in the air into left center field. See if it's deep enough to get the runner in. Trout's going to make the catch. Tagging at third base and coming in easily to score will be Seager. As Trout's throw went to third, and rightfully so. He keeps Trumbo over there at second. The sac fly for Miller. That's the first out in the inning. It's 2-0.
Yeah, credit Miller. A pretty good at bat there. He's just trying to make contacts. Fell behind right away against CJ. CJ threw some real good pitches to him. Finally got a pitch enough out over the plate to break a ball that he can get the job done, and got a sac fly across for Seattle. I was thinking in terms that CJ be able to get a strikeout and then get Zunino to potentially hit into a double play and limit the damage.
Well, this is a guy that CJ Wilson needs to go after. He's their number 9 hitter. He's hitting 165. He will strike out. Here's the first pitch. He lifts that one in the air down the right side. That's going to push foul back to the seats and out of play. Talked about Zunino and the strikeouts, and he is 4th in the league in that department. 98 strikeouts coming into tonight's action.
Does have decent numbers against CJ though. 5 for 16. It's a .313 batting average.
0-1 to count. Here's the pitch. This one is lifted in the air into center field. Shallow center. Trout is waiting for it. It's way up there, and he'll make the grab.
Wow, that baseball looked like it was going to get the roof. It was closing. From our angle, that was way up there.
So that's out number 2. And the batter now will be the leadoff man, Austin Jackson. Trout's been busy out there in center field here in the first couple of innings already. 3 putouts.
And that's generally not a good sign for CJ because he's more of a ground ball pitcher.
The Angels bat in the 3rd. Right now down 2-0. Top of the batting order, Giovatello, Calhoun, and Trout. First pitch, and that one is taken for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's 27 pitches thrown this inning for CJ. He had 10 pitches thrown to get 3 outs in the first inning.
One ball, no strikes. And the pitch. It's line to Trout, but he's right there waiting in shallow center, and he'll put that one away. And 3 putouts for the Angels all-star center fielder. Wilson gives up a pair. We're headed to the 3rd. 2-0 Seattle on Fox Sports West. Is almost closed. It's still moving to close up, and the first batter up is Johnny Giovatello. 2-0 Seattle as we start the 3rd. Iwakuma's pitch, that's in there, and the count 0-1. Iwakuma, after allowing the bases loaded with no outs in the top of the first inning, he has set down the last 6 in a row. Got out of that bases loaded first inning jam. Here's Giovatello fouling one off on the right side, backing out of play. We'll get our first real good look, Mark Gubicza, at these new LED lights that they have here at Safeco Field as they are closing the roof.
Yeah, they really look nice.
Yeah. And here's the pitch. That one is tapped on the third base side, fielded there by Seager. His throw to first, and it is just in time to hit Giovatello. Close play. 5-3 on the ground out. Cole Calhoun will be the next batter.
A nice play. You can see that quick transfer for Kyle Seager. The reason why he won a Gold Glove at third base, how quickly he got rid of that baseball, and he's got such good range Go to his left and right and come in on the baseball and still very comfortable with his throwing arm. But it's all about that quick transfer from the glove to the throwing arm.
So here's Calhoun, who singled in the first inning. Iwakuma's pitch. That one is lifted in the air and hit the right field. Backpedaling is Cruz. He has an easy play and he'll squeeze it. That's the second out. So Iwakuma is getting into a rhythm right now, 8 in a row.
And that's the one thing you worried about, because you had a chance to get really basically because the guy you have struggled all year, ERA over 7. You have a chance for a knockout punch right away, but he got through that inning, no damage. All of a sudden you could see the confidence growing for a guy that's had some success against the Angels.
And certainly he's well aware of that. Lifetime 6-2 against the Halos. So here's Trout. And the first one on Mike is low. See Mike Trout's numbers and what he's doing this year compared to a year ago when he won the MVP award. Here's the next pitch, and that one is taken for a strike. 1-1 to count.
Credit Mike Trout during the offseason was going to make some adjustments, especially being more aggressive early in the counts and laying off high fastballs.
Trout is moving into the All-Star break. Really a hot hitter right now. 6-game hitting streak. Hits in 10 of his last 11 games. Here's a pitch low. He's had hits in 20 of his last 24 games. And for a while there, not too long ago, that batting average was under the 300 mark, but no longer. He's up to 311 right now. 2-1 pitch. He taps that one foul over on the third base side. So the roof is closed now here at Safeco Field. It's funny, we've played a lot of games here in recent seasons without the roof being closed, and you kind of forget about it a little bit. You almost forget sometimes this is a stadium with a retractable roof.
You can still feel the elements in here. It still stays pretty cool certain times of the year here.
Yep. Next pitch. And that one was framed by Zunino, and the pitch went in Trout's favor. Ball 3. Full count.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch at 92. Take a look at our Fox tracks. That looks like it catches the corner, came back, two-seam fastball. Trout got the benefit of that call. Now, if you're Mike Trout, you better be ready to go on anything close to the plate now.
See what gives on the payoff. He fouls one off just past the Angels' dugout, third base side.
See, that split finger fastball right there, Terry's good. But if that starts the middle of the plate and stays true and doesn't sink like that, that becomes an extremely hittable ball.
And that's what's happened a lot this season to Matt Shoemaker.
Yep, exactly. It's almost like a batting practice speed for a hitter. They're used to gearing up to 94, 95.
Here's the 3-2 on Trout. He reaches it. That one fouls it back. That splitter is such a big pitch for Shoemaker, and one of the reasons why his season here in 2015 hasn't come close to equaling what he did a year ago.
Yeah, his last 2-3 games, though, the big key for Shoemaker is throwing his fastball at the knees first, and then he allows the hitter to see that splitter in that zone, and then the bottom drops out. Otherwise, they've been laying off that pitch because of high fastballs.
Payoff once again. Trout has a walk. Pitch was low and away. So the Angels have a 2-out base runner for Albert. 2-0 Seattle, third inning. They got their 2 runs last inning. Albert struck out his first time up. The walk to Trout is the second one given up by Iwakuma.
Well, you would think Pujols is going to get a fastball first pitch, especially with Trout's speed at first. You want to be quicker to the plate. Maybe he'll make a mistake here to Pujols.
Here's the pitch. Albert goes after the first one and pops it up. Out on the left side of the infield. The shortstop now comes in. Brad Miller makes the catch on the grass, and that's how the inning will end. Not a whole lot happening for the Angels. No runs, hits, or errors. It's 2-0 Seattle. Pacific with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game begins Tuesday, 4 o'clock Pacific on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
That should be a lot of fun. A hitter's ballpark. Should be some baseballs flying there in Cincinnati.
Yep. Here's Gutierrez to lead it off against C.J. Wilson. He takes low and outside, ball 1. Angels down by a couple and have left 4 runners on base here in the early going. The pitch. There's one cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's a good changeup. CJ hasn't thrown many of them yet. It's a good changeup. He's had a good one. He can change speeds on that. Changeup varies between 82 and 87.
Wilson's 1-1. It's bounced right back to him. C.J. Fields throws low and it bounces off the glove of Crone. Boy, that was such an easy play, and C.J. threw it in the dirt.
He gathered himself the right way, and he throws a low sinker at C.J. Crone. And because it's one of those throws, it's a short hop. It's very difficult for a first baseman to catch that one. Did a nice job of getting himself fielding position, landed perfectly, like a little crow hop, but he landed and threw on the mound. You see this front foot, he lands, so it's a little bit different throw, and then forces that throw to first base to be a low throw.
So no CJ to CJ connection right there.
I see you working, Terry.
Here's Cano at the plate, and the pitch. That one's a little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes. C.J. Wilson, we've seen him make some pretty good plays this season out on the mound.
He's worked much better this year, and credit Gary DiSarcina. They've been working a lot in between starts, hit a lot of ground balls at him in the outfield just to get better, using the glove more often.
There's a pitch in there for a strike on Cano, 1-1. Cano, one of 2 strikeout victims for the Angels lefty C.J. Wilson, 34-year-old left-hander, making his 18th start of the year. Next pitch, that's fouled back behind the plate. 1-2 the count. Angels have had success against Seattle, and here at their ballpark, 3-2 against the Mariners at Safeco this year, 7-4 against them overall. Angels will have to come from behind tonight.
Boy, CJ as an Angel in this ballpark, 4-1 with a 2.29 ERA.
Here's the pitch, and that one is low. 2-2 on Robinson Cano. Cano, a guy that usually attends that All-Star game. He's been an All-Star 6 times, but he's not going this season. Also been involved in the home run derby in the past. I think he won it one year, didn't he? Home run derby.
Got a great swing.
2-2, and there's one that he swings and misses, struck him out. So Cano down on strikes for the 2nd time.
Yeah, CJ's made some really good pitches so far. The Robinson Cano. That slider off the plate, well off the plate, but good late break to it. Get a swing and miss.
Here's Nelson Cruz, single, and he scored a run. CJ is nearing 50 pitches already here in this ball game, and we only have 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Infield at double play depth. Here's the pitch. Fouled down the right side, and that one's going to get back and out of play. Hit pretty good, did Nelson Cruz, but foul down that right field corner.
Well, he likes to get his arms extended. You know, early in his career, he used to look inside on everything. You can get him away. For the last couple of seasons, using the whole ballpark, but really liking pitches out over the plate to get his arms extended.
0-1 to count on Cruz. He's a guy who uses a big bat, 35-inch bat. Here's the pitch, and that one, the pitch that he takes. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's why you would think a good fastball at the hands, you can get him out.
Here's the next pitch, and that's right in there for a called strike. So the count 1-2 on Nelson Cruz. He signed a big 4-year deal with Seattle this offseason. Led the majors last year in home runs. He had 40 of them with Baltimore. Became a free agent, signed with Seattle, and he's done a good job for the Mariners his first year with them. 1-2 delivery, chops it foul over on the left side. Seager waiting on deck. Big crowd tonight here in Seattle. And the pitch. That one is ripped down the left side, tight to the line, and that is a foul ball. Not a whole lot of foul territory as you get deeper down that left side, the way the seats jut out. Down the right side as well, and that was a foul ball.
Yeah, he was quick on that fastball inside. That tells me he might be susceptible to a good changeup down and away now. So that just missed going down that line. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, but a lot of pitches, the last 3 or 4 of them have been on the inner half. Now you would think if something off speed away should be effective.
Here's the 1-2. Misses high. There's a fastball.
Looked like Carlos was trying to call for something different, but CJ shook him off and went back inside with a fastball.
Wilson's next pitch. That's low. Now the runner breaks for second. The throw there, and safe is Gutierrez. Boy, that play was very slow and developing right there, but Gutierrez still got the second before the tag.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia's looking in at Dino Wheel, but they might take a look at that. Kept it in front of him very well when he was quick on his feet and a perfect throw. See if the tag was applied. Real close play. Looking in, and Mike Scioscia looks like he is going to challenge that.
Yep. Angels will.
Yeah, he got him, looked like. On the jersey before the foot got to the base. What a throw by Carlos Perez. We talked about him and Zunino being so good as far as blocking pitches in the dirt.
So this is a pretty big play here, because if he's safe and that was the call on the field, they would have a runner at second base, 1 out. If the call gets reversed, no one would be on and 2 would be out. So the umpires have the headsets on.
Sure looked like that tag was applied to the midsection before his foot got in there.
The umpires that are in contact with New York, you always have the umpire who made the call, and in this case it's the second base umpire, Jordan Baker, and then you also have the crew chief always involved. 2 umpires in contact with MLB control.
It sure looked like that tag was right on that midsection before the foot just touched the base. Quick tag too by Giavitello. See right there, foot's not on. You can see the jersey moving, and then the foot makes contact with the base. I think they're going to reverse this.
If they don't reverse it, Mike Scioscia is not going to be a happy camper. But he's been through this a number of times this season. Some of these calls that have been challenged, and really that's by Angels opponents as well. Sometimes you see the replays and you think, yeah, the call is going to get changed, and it doesn't.
I mean, you can see that jersey moving before the foot is making contact with the base. I mean, that jersey's not going to move on its own. So you would think the tag was on it. Yes.
And he's called out. Angels win the challenge.
Credit Carlos Perez. What a job. Not only blocking that pitch and keeping it in front, but getting that baseball and making a perfect throw. You can see right there, tag, and then the foot makes contact with the base. Great job by our guys in the truck to be able to get that angle. You blew that up, be able to see the tag and the jersey moving before the foot touches the base.
So the next pitch here to Cruz, he takes a 3-2, and that's outside.
And that's why it was so important to get that call right for the Angels.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you have first and second with one out. You just have man on first with 2 outs now.
So that is already the third walk given up by C.J. Wilson. 2-out walk.
Nice quick tag by Giavotella. Again, it's still a work in progress with him at second base. All those little things that Alfredo's trying to get him better at as far as using that glove quicker in those positions to apply a tag.
There's a pitch on Seager. Takes it low. The Angels bat in the 4th. Trailing right now 2-0. It'll be Ibar, Freese, and Crone against Iwakuma. Next pitch. That's low and away. 2-0. Freese, the third baseman, way off the line. Ibar is shaded towards second. Giavotella is a few feet back on the outfield grass. Here's the next pitch. That's lined by the mound and through in center field. Moving up to second base, stopping there is Cruz. Seager has his second hit. Another left-handed batter with a hit against Wilson. 2 are on with 2 outs. That challenge the Angels. One in the inning really looms big now, and the batter will be Trumbo.
Again, another pitch, almost the exact same pitch he got hit last at bat. High fastball, 91 away, back up the middle. Keep in mind, Seager was his 4 for 39 in his career, 2 for 2 tonight. Lefties a little bit better and more comfortable against CJ this season.
So here's Trumbo. He walked last inning. The pitch. He bounces that one by the mound, out of the reach of Giavotella. That one skips into center field. Being waved home is Cruz. He will score. And it's 3-0 Seattle with runners at the corners. Mark Trumbo's third RBI in this series.
And just by Giavotella trying to knock this one down. Trumbo got a fastball middle of the plate, went right back up the middle. And that's all you're trying to do as an infielder. You may not get it out. You're just trying to keep that in front of you to prevent a run. Trumbo extends his hitting streak now to 7 with an RBI single.
And here's Montero, who last inning walked with the bases loaded to force in a run. After CJ had a clean bottom of the first inning, he has been in trouble the next 2 innings here. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike. Next pitch will be his 60th of the night, and he's yet to get through this 3rd inning. Here's the next one. Hopped in the air, not too deep in right center field. Trout is circling under, and he will put it away. Another put out for the Angels center fielder. But Seattle getting the early runs tonight. They get one here in the 3rd. We're headed to inning number 4. They lead the Angels 3-0. follow against Iwakuma. He's retired 9 of the last 10 that he's faced. Here's the pitch. And that breaking pitch in there for a called strike.
Boy, tons of Angel fans here. Safeco once again looking for some action offensively.
Ibar taps the plate with the bat, awaits the next delivery from Iwakuma. And here it comes. That's low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you want to start putting some pressure back on Iwakuma. He's getting comfortable.
Here's the next pitch. It's chopped on the right side. It's right at Cano, an easy play, and he will throw out Eric Ibar. And that's the first out. Fans, the Angels will host the Minnesota Twins on July the 21st, 7:05 first pitch at the Big A. Fans in attendance will receive a Hawaiian Angels hat, courtesy of Chevron Extra Mile while supplies last. You purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or at angels.com.
Oh, I know you're getting ready for that week, aren't you, Smitty?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Hawaiian hat?
Oh, yeah.
Hawaiian week? Oh, it's perfect.
Here's the pitch on Freeze, and that one is a called strike.
Boy, how different would this game look at this point if that swing, that real good swing from Freeze, is not caught, that line drive by Nelson Cruz and right.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a couple runs minimum. There's a pitch on the outside corner. But you got to credit Iwakuma. He battled in that inning. He got the big strikeout against Pujols with the bases loaded for the first out. Here's the next pitch, 0-2, and there's a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Freeze. He chased a splitter, it looked like, struck him out, and that is strikeout number 3 for Hisashi Iwakuma. Well, the Mariners have to like what they've seen from him, because his first outing coming off the DL on Monday, he was knocked around by the Tigers. 4 home runs he allowed in 5 innings. Crone at the plate, popped out his first time up. Here's the pitch. That one is taken for ball 1, 1-0.
He just missed that pitch, so he popped up on. That was a high fastball, inner half of the plate.
And the 1-0. That's a ball through the right side for a base hit. One hopper off the dirt and bounces out to Cruz. So Crone stays hot. Little 6-game hitting streak for him. 2-out single. Angels have a base runner, and the batter will be Matt Joyce.
Another high pitch, high fastball to Crone. This time he fought it off. He got a base hit in the right field.
Joyce took a called third strike his first time up.
Well, the first pitch, last at bat for Joyce, he had a very good swing at the fastball. Fouled it straight back.
Here's the pitch, and that one is cut on and missed. 0-1 to count.
I'm guessing Iwakuma remembered that too. Start him off with a split finger fastball first pitch.
Yep. Well, the thing about Iwakuma, he's a guy that's going to be around the plate. You look at his numbers this season, and especially a year ago, he walked only 21 batters last year in 179 innings. Pinpoint control. Here's the pitch. This is hit into center field, but it's hanging up, circling under and waiting, making the grab 2 feet from the rim of the track exactly, and the Angels are retired here in the 4th. Not much going on. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Seattle.
Coors banquet. At the last, on this date, back in 1967, 2 All-Star games, both in Anaheim. The National League wins 2-1 in 15 innings. Tony Perez, the home run. In the 89 All-Star game in Anaheim, the AL wins 5-3. Bo Jackson with that home run against Rick Rushell in the first inning. Wade Boggs also a home run in that first inning as the American League wins that All-Star game.
Bo Jackson, old friend of yours.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a bouncing ball hit by Miller. It handcuffs Crone, bounces away, and then Giavotella tries to scoop it back over to Crone, but it's late. And on to start off the inning will be Miller. And that figures to be an error on C.J. Crone.
Nice play by Giavotella to make that one close. And Mike Scioscia's looking in. Feels that was the right call at first base by Andy Fletcher. They will not challenge that. Tough in between hop. You can see how that baseball hit that grass and the dirt area. A little bit tricky of a hop for C.J. Crone and flipped it over quickly. Giavotella did, but still Miller beats it out.
Angels' second error in this game. Zunino stepping up. And a toss over to first base. Miller gets back. Zunino flied out to center his first time up. Wilson's pitch, and that's cut on and missed. Austin Jackson back in the lineup for Seattle, waiting on deck, their leadoff man. Here's the next one, and there's a bunt out in front of the plate. Good bunt. Wilson has it, throws, and gets the out at first base. That'll be a sacrifice bunt for Zunino, and that moves Miller up to second.
That's his 4th sacrifice bunt of the season.
Well, if you're hitting 9th and you're batting 165, you better do the little things.
Exactly. He does have good power, but you're right. When you're hitting that low, you better do the little things. Put yourself in position to get runners in scoring position. He's getting a pat on the back by Lloyd McClendon, manager for Seattle. Job well done.
There's Jackson, who's hit the ball twice to Trout out in center. Pickoff toss to second, and just diving back safely goes Miller.
Good timing play by Giavotella. That's all read. The read at the back of the head of the pitcher, and then you spin around and throw the ball. Daylight play.
Miller can run a little bit. And Wilson wheels around, bluffs a toss to second. Giavotella was not coming over to cover.
Yeah, when Giavotella went back to his normal defensive position, Miller saw that and started drifting out a little bit further.
Here's the pitch, and that's low.
Miller's been stealing more bags this year. He's got 9 stolen bases in 10 attempts.
Yeah.
As Ricky Henderson always said, it's the easiest base to steal is third base.
1 ball, no strikes. And here's the next pitch. That's in there. Took something off a fastball there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Austin Jackson. He will be a free agent at the end of the season. Came over last year from Detroit. And here's the pitch, and that one pitch that misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Infield is backed up. Giavotella kind of shading towards second. Trout not very deep in center. Here's the next pitch. That's fouled off on the right side, out of play. Great to be with you tonight here on Fox Sports West. Terry Smith, Mark Rubisaw, just visiting for a couple of ball games with you, Gooby.
It's fun, Terry.
But always
Old
nice
memories.
to visit with you.
Yes. Known you a long, long, long time,
That's
Terry.
right. Both our families have known each other for decades. Here's the 2-2, and that is in there for a called third strike. Got him looking.
You mentioned earlier that Doug Eddings is a guy that likes to call strike. That's a borderline pitch on the inside corner. Nice job. The best thing about Carlos Perez, he just keeps his glove there. When you try to bring that back in the zone, it gives the illusion that it's not a strike. Just keep it there, give that umpire a chance to call it a strike, and that's exactly what Carlos did, and Doug Eddings called it a strike.
So here's Gutierrez. He's had an 0 for 2 night, although he did reach his last time up. That was that error by C.J. Wilson. First pitch a little bit low. It's 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, runner at second. When the Angels bat in the 5th, trailing at 3-0, it'll be Perez and the top of the order, Giovatello and Calhoun against Iwakumus. Pitched 4 shutout innings against the Angels so far tonight. 1-0, and that's in there. .70 pitches now for C.J. Wilson. Here's the next one. That's chopped foul, third base side.
Straight by Hector Santiago, who threw the ball incredibly well again last night.
Yeah, boy, what a difference a year makes for him. We were talking about it last night on the radio side. He's not a guy that has to look over his shoulder this season. Here's the pitch. That's lined into center field. Trout is going back, and he'll make the catch in right center. And inning ends on the liner to the Angels center fielder, Mike Trout. No runs, hits, 1 error, and they leave 1. 5th inning is coming up next.
Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEFINS.com.
Carlos Perez leading it up as we start the 5th inning. Angels down 3-0, and the first pitch, that one is taken for strike 1. Perez so far tonight, 1 time up, ground out to Cano. Here's one inside. 1-1 to count on the Angels catcher and 9-hole hitter who's trying to get back on offense. Just 1 for his last 17. Here's the next pitch. That one is grounded sharply, but a nice stop there by Seager. He's solid defensively, and he'll throw him out.
He's made some real good plays in the first 3 games of this series. And 2 at-bats for Carlos. In this game, he's hit the ball hard twice, nothing to show for it. That 1 line drive, 1 hopper up the middle. Cano makes a play. This is a 1-hop line drive. It. Kyle Seager makes a nice play on to throw out Carlos Perez at first base.
Third ball hit on the ground to Seager so far tonight. He's handled them all. Giovatello, the batter now. He has a walk and a ground out to Seager. And here's the pitch. That's right in there, a called strike.
Well, back in the day when Ackley was playing second and Seager was playing, still at third base, everyone was saying around here in Seattle that he is even a much better fielding second baseman than Ackley. He's a very good fielder. You can see that by his reaction with his hands as a third baseman, too.
There's a pitch low. He's got a younger brother who's a pretty good player in the Dodgers system.
You think?
Yep, and he'll probably be up with the Dodgers sometime this season. Corey Seager. Here's the 1-1. That's lifted in the air into center field, backpedaling and under and grabbing it is Ackley. Or I should say out there is the center fielder, and tonight that's Jackson, and that's the second out.
A couple baseballs squared up in this inning, but right at fielders. And that's the thing you mentioned earlier, Terry, that Iwakuma's around the strike zone. It's very difficult to get those free bases, although he does have 2 walks today, which is unusual for him. But he doesn't do it often. He's back to this pounding the strike zone.
So here's Cole Calhoun. He has one of the 3 Angel hits so far. It's been a quiet night right now offensively for the Angels. Here's the pitch. Calhoun chops that one on the right side. Foul ball.
And we talked about that in our second segment, about his hands right now for Cole Calhoun away from his body early in the season, resting that bat on his back shoulder. Real quick through the baseball. Got a hit, 1 for 2 tonight. Through those hands away from the body.
Next pitch. Takes it low.
So often you see for hitters that toe tap, just to get that balance and the timing down as far as your swing, to get that barrel through the zone and make good contact with the barrel of the bat.
Next delivery. That one is hit sharply on the right side, but Cano had him play perfectly, and he will throw him out, and the Angels go down quickly and quietly here in the top of the 5th. We are headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 3-0 Seattle. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of tonight's game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of Angels Baseball LP. So here's Cano to lead it off, bottom of the 5th, 3-0 Seattle, and the first pitch gets away from C.J. Wilson.
Got him in the helmet area, maybe.
Cano hit by the pitch. C.J. Wilson just kind of.
You can see how C.J. reacted.
Yeah.
He saw he wasn't trying to go up and in, obviously, like that. The baseball got away from him, and he reacted the same way as Robinson Cano. He's looking out over the plate, hits the helmet, and CJ reacts. That's the one thing as a pitcher. You really hate that when a baseball gets away from you, see a hitter getting hit like that. The dangerous reaction you see from a hitter is you get hit in the helmet and go straight down like that.
And Cano's going to stay in the game. C.J. Wilson just kind of crumbled down near the mound as he was hoping that Cano would be okay. Of course, Cano had that freak thing happen to him the last series at the Big A, Gooby, where Featherston's throw during
why he was in the dugout.
Right. He was just sitting there. The Angels were throwing the ball around the infield, and Featherston threw a ball that hit Cano right around the forehead.
They made a check him for the protocol for a concussion potentially.
Right. So a runner at first. Cano is the base runner, and at the plate is Cruz, and the pitch a ball. Cruz has scored 2 of their 3 runs. He's had a single and a walk. Wilson has yet to get him out. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. That one 78 miles per hour. Mariners have had someone on base in every inning except the first, and there's one that's in there for a called strike.
That's a dangerous spot. It's a little cut fastball right on the inner half of the plate, only an 85 from CJ. I think he's got a chance to make Cruz expand his zone here now after taking that pitch right down the middle, basically.
There's one. He lines into right. He has another hit. They'll have runners at first and second.
Too much to the plate, another elevated pitch. He can, again, when a hitter misses his pitch, he's more apt to expand the zone. And as a pitcher, you exploit that, throw something out of the strike zone and make him chase. Instead, that ball's upstairs and a very hittable pitch for Nelson Cruz.
Cruz has had a good series. He's had 6 hits in this series in the first 3 games. And here's Seager, who's 2 for 2.
And both his hits have been 91-mile-an-hour fastballs out over the plate, but elevated.
Here's the pitch, and that one is low and away. CJ has been working in trouble most of the night. Other than the first inning, it's been a bit of a struggle. Mariners have scored 3. They've left 5 on base, have 2 more on here, and there's a cut and a miss.
Looks like there's some action down in the bullpen.
And it looks like Angels right-hander Mike Morin.
The way Iwakuma is throwing the ball, you can't afford to get this even a bigger lead against you.
Yeah. But on the flip side, the Angels offense has been about as good as any in baseball, so there's still time to come back. Here's the pitch, and that one low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Angels coming into tonight 55 runs in the last 7 games.
I'm thinking of Mike Scioscia's hoping that CJ gets Seager out. If not, he might be forced to go to the bullpen and then bring in Morin against Trumbo.
2-1 pitch, and that is low. What's it like, Gooby, as a former pitcher? You hit a guy, you hit him around the head. Are you thinking about that?
It definitely shakes you up.
Yeah,
but
sure.
you know, I had a long conversation one time with the late Don Drysdale, and this is exactly what he said. Unless you're trying to hit somebody, it's a mistake. You feel bad about it. The hitter certainly does not feel comfortable there. You didn't try to do that. You try to move forward as quick as possible because you have to pitch inside. Now, a hitter, when they hit a line drive back up the middle, it's the same thing. They don't want to hit a pitcher up the middle, but it happens. You got to move forward as quick as possible and not let it get to be something bigger than that because of something you didn't try to do. You move forward as quick as possible. It's easier said than done. You never feel good. I had a few pitches to get away myself, but I remember him saying that specifically. Unless you're trying to do that, you have to move forward. It's not something you tried on purpose. You're hoping he's okay. It seemed to be that Robinson Cano was okay. Maybe grazed his shoulder first before he hit his helmet, but you have to move forward.
So Mike Butcher's going out to the mound. That after Seager just picked up the walk, and the bases are loaded here with nobody out. They had a bases loaded, no out jam back in the bottom of the second.
See him point right there. Robinson pointed exactly where that got him, and he's going to show exactly where that baseball got him on the helmet. Again, you have a hitter that looks out over the plate, so you're diving out over the plate as a hitter. And then that fastball, CJ drops his elbow enough where it elevates the fastball, not on purpose, but gets away from him. So you have the perfect storm for a hitter not getting out of the way and a pitcher not throwing where you want to throw the baseball.
So Wilson is in some deep trouble here. No outs, 3 on, and the pitch. And that's fouled back just below us, out of play. Trumbo, we're well aware of his power, and he's a guy, you make a mistake, he can make you pay. And he's been a hot hitter here, 10 for his last 17. Here's the pitch. He cuts at that one and misses it, so Wilson has jumped way in front, 0-2. The other part of Trumbo's game is he's a swing and miss guy.
And he's a guy that wants to drive and run. So, again, as a pitcher, you use that against him. Expand the strike zone. You know, trust Carlos Perez. You can bounce a break a ball in the dirt. You can get that swing and miss, which you desperately need.
So Wilson way in front, 0-2. That's low. It skips between the legs of Perez. Breaking for the plate is Cano. The throw's going to get him. Carlos Perez throws it back to Wilson covering, and they get Cano trying to score.
Well, what a game that Carlos has had, especially with his throws. That ball just barely got by him, but a perfect quick throw. And CJ did the perfect job as far as covering the plate. As a pitcher, anytime you see a baseball get away, right away you see CJ coming to the plate, and that's what you want to do. You straddle the plate and apply the tag as quick as possible. Great job by CJ Wilson to be in position, because you don't want to step on the plate, because then you can put yourself in a serious situation where you get your knee taken out. Straddles the plate, perfect tag, gets Robinson Cano at the plate.
That's the old 1-2-1 at home. Here's the pitch, and that one is chopped foul right into the Angels dugout.
Sounded like one of the zones you had to play against you, Terry, with your great outside shot back in the day.
Yeah.
Still some work to do for CJ. Get that big punch out right now. You need it.
Here's the pitch, and that one is cut on and missed. Ball picked up by Perez, fires the first to complete the strikeout. So that's the second out. So runners at second and third.
It's that good pitch. We talked about it. Bounce it against a guy that wants to drive and a run. Will expand the zone, and CJ uses that against Mark Trumbo. Get an all-important punch out.
Batter is Montero now with 2 outs. Still 3-0 Seattle, and there's a pitch inside. 1-0 the count. Here's the next pitch, and that one is chopped foul over by the Angels dugout. Mentioned the big crowd here tonight, over 40,000, 40,765 at Safeco Field. This will be pitch number 90 for Wilson, and a check swing. Did he go around? Yes, on the appeal. Andy Fletcher, first base umpire, saying Montero offered at that one. It's now 1-2.
Sure, it looked like he did. And a hitter, young hitter, looking for a fastball. He got a high fastball. Could not hold up on the check.
So we'll see if CJ can get the out here in the pitch. That one is low. 2-2, and the Angels bat in the 6th, trailing 3-0. Trout, Pujols, Ibar against Iwakuma. Wilson's 2-2, and it's cut on, fouled back behind the plate. Each team has had a runner thrown out at the plate. Angels had it happen in the first inning when they had the bases loaded and one out. Ibar bounced one down to Seager. He fired to the plate to force out Giavotella, and that was really the Angels' big chance so far in this game. At a bases loaded, no out situation in that first inning. Just couldn't get anyone home.
I'll tell you what, you get through this inning if you're CJ and the Angels. I'll tell you what, the momentum will definitely shift back over to the Angels, especially Mike Trout coming up next inning. All of a sudden, this could be a different game if you get through this inning, no damage.
2-2, grounded sharply. It's right at Freeze, stays with it, throws to first, easily gets Montero, and sure enough, Wilson does pitch out of a bases loaded, no out jam. They fail to score. We're headed to the 6th inning. It's 3-0 Seattle.
Had himself a good game with the glove early in the game, and then a couple good swings. Base hit by Seager, and then Mark Trumbo base hit up the middle, driving his run. And Iwakuma with that 3-0 lead has been very good with that split finger fastball. Trouble early in the first inning. Nelson Cruz bailed him out. Now Cruz along now with a shutout going into the 6th inning, but has to deal with Mike Trout.
There's a new first baseman in the ballgame for Seattle. Logan Morrison has checked in, and he replaces Jesus Montero. He'll bat out of the number 7 spot. And you see Morrison over there, a little bit better defensively. 0-1 is the count on Trout. He's had a single and a walk so far. And Iwakuma's pitch, cut and a miss. 0-2 the count.
Well, Hyundai key for this game to be successful. Everybody on the floor. Now it's an opportunity. You got to get right back in to start swinging the bat, put some pressure on Iwakuma and the bullpen, especially the middle part of the bullpen for Seattle. Momentum back on the Angels side after CJ getting through.
0-2 on Trout, way high with that pitch. 1-2.
You like that song, Smitty?
Who did that song?
The Game.
The Game. Not too familiar with The Game. But if you like it, I like it.
Go a little hip hop for you there, Terry.
There you go.
I know how you like hip hop.
I do like hip hop. Here's the 1-2 on Trout. Breaking ball got him. Boy, he struck him out. was no way Trout was going to hit that pitch.
Yeah, good curveball for Iwakuma. We're seeing a few more curveballs and sliders. He's had a tough time throwing those near the strike zone to get swing and misses, but he's thrown a couple good ones tonight.
So he has set down 5 in a row, 16 of the last 18. The Angels have had only 1 hit since the first inning against them. Here's the pitch on Albert. Taken for a called strike. Next pitch will be Iwakuma's 75th. Threw only 68 pitches in his last start, and that was the start coming off the disabled list. He had been sidelined going back to late April, made a start on Monday, and this is his second start since coming off the DL because of shoulder problems. 1-1 on Pujols, up and in. 2-1. Albert tied with Trout for the AL lead in home runs. Pujols is going to participate in the home run derby next week in Cincinnati. 2-1 delivery. Hits that one sharply, but foul on the left side.
But he's taking on Chris Bryant in that first round, right?
Yeah, they have the brackets
Yeah,
this
I know.
year. How about that?
In that ballpark, there's going to be some baseballs flying way out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the other side of the river there, what, Kentucky? There might be some baseballs landing in Kentucky.
Out in Florence, Kentucky, just across the state line. Two and two on Albert as he gets ready to move back in the batter's box. Here's the pitch. That's popped in the air into right field. Easy play for Nelson Cruz. He's under waiting. He'll squeeze it. And that's the second out. Well, Iwakuma's just mowing him down right now. A lot of easy outs.
Keeping hitters off balance, showing enough pitches inside to get that outer part of the plate with his off-speed pitches. And credit him for making that adjustments from that first inning. I mean, especially when he had Albert Pujols at the plate with no body out, bases loaded. He made some outstanding pitches to Pujols.
Yeah. And Albert was a guy who got him earlier this season, hit a home run against him. Here's Ibar trying to make something happen, and he bunts one foul.
Certainly still part of this game, only down 3-0. So you're trying to get some base runners.
See Wakuma's last 4 starts, ERA over 7, but he hasn't pitched that way tonight. Next delivery, Ibar with a little pop down the left side. It's going to drop foul. Hop into the seats. 0-2. When these two teams square off tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Andrew Heaney, who has been so impressive since the Angels brought him up from Salt Lake. Will be opposed by Taijuan Walker. Walker got off to a very slow start this season. He was great in spring training for Seattle, then had a rough first couple of months. He's been pitching a lot better for them. There's a swing and a miss at an 0-2 breaking ball struck him out, and the inning is over. Pair of strikeouts for Iwakuma. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-0 Seattle. sixth inning, 3-0 Seattle. That's been the score going back to the third. Angels had a real good scoring opportunity in the first inning, and then not a whole lot since then. Angels left the bases loaded in the first. They've left 5 on, but can't seem to crack the scoreboard so far. Here's the pitch on Miller, and the first one on the left-handed batter is inside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Brad Miller, sac fly, and he's reached on an error. Next delivery, lines one into left, but right there waiting and squeezing that one is Matt Joyce. One away. Fans, don't forget the Angels host the Minnesota Twins on July the 22nd. 7:05 first pitch at the Big A. Fans in attendance receive a Hawaiian Rally Monkey. It's courtesy of Sungevity while supplies last. You can purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or at angels.com. Here's the next pitch. Fouled back behind the plate, out of play.
Well, that certainly was an aggressive first pitch fastball swing from Zunino.
Mentioned Zunino, a guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. 22 homers last year, but a lot of swings and misses in his game as well. He chops this one down to third. Tricky hop, handled nicely by Freese. The throw will get him by plenty. That's the second out.
CJ looking to try to have a quick inning here.
He's nearing 100 pitches, 3 shy right now as he faces Austin Jackson for the 4th time. Jackson has gone 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. That's right in there for a called strike when the Angels bat in the 7th. Freese, Crone, and Joyce against Iwakuma. Next pitch, and a cut and a miss. C.J. Wilson trying to win his 8th of the season. Here's the next pitch, and that one is fouled off. C.J. was a 13-game winner a year ago. Outfield is shading Jackson a bit the opposite way. Joyce way off the line and left. 0-2. Chopped by the mound. Out near second. Giovitella has it. Throws and gets it to Crone in time. And the inning is over. A clean inning for Wilson, who's retired the last 5 in a row. Angels need runs, trailing 3-0 as we go to the 7th.
By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
David Freese will lead off the 7th. Angels down by 3 as Iwakuma gets ready to pitch. First delivery, it's tapped foul over by the batter waiting on deck, C.J. Cron. Iwakuma has set down 18 of the last 20 and the last 7 in a row. Right-hander against right-hander. Next delivery, that one is grounded just foul on the third base side. 2 strikes on Freese. Iwakuma has thrown 83 pitches. And there is action. Right-hander and left-hander in the bullpen. The lefty is Joe Beimel. Mark Lowe, former Angel, the right-hander, warming up. He's had a very good year for them. There's a pitch that is taken by Freese, and he struck him out looking. That was a fastball. Second time tonight Freese has struck out. Iwakuma retires the leadoff man in the 7th.
Yeah, it's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right down the heart of the plate. Zunino reaches out, but you can see location by Fox Tracks right down the heart. That's 6 punch-outs in the game for Iwakuma, which is a season high.
This is his 5th start of the season. Most of the year on the DL, but he has really been impressive tonight. He looks like the Hisashi Iwakuma of old tonight. 0-1 is the count on Cron. And here's the pitch. That one cut and a miss. So Cron in the hole. It's 0-2. Roof has been closed for most of the game. It was open when we started. Here's the pitch. Chopped on the third base side. Seager bobbles, picks it up, has time, and gets thrown. He doesn't run very well. That's the second out.
And now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco with the bases loaded. You talked about it earlier, Terry. That great pitch, he threw a split finger fastball to get a swing and miss from Albert Pujols, a career 343 hitter with the bases loaded. Iwakuma with a big punch out in that spot.
So here's Matt Joyce. Hitless and 2 times up tonight.
Yeah, you got a guy on the ropes there. He's got an ERA over 7. Bases loaded, no outs, and you're facing a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But a perfect pitch to get a swing and miss changed the complexion of this game early on.
No doubt. Here's a chopper hit to Miller, the shortstop. This looks like an easy play, and it'll end the inning. So the Angels have been quiet offensively tonight. That's 10 in a row retired by Iwakuma. 7th inning stretch time. 3-0 Seattle. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, He's retired the last 5 in a row. This has been a quiet game offensively. Angels have not scored, and Mariners haven't scored since the 3rd inning. They lead it 3-0. Bottom of the 7th here at Safeco Field. Gutierrez will lead it off. 0 for 3 night against CJ. And the first pitch right in there for a called strike.
Well, Doug Eddings definitely calls a lot of pitches on that part of the plate. Whether it's a lefty or a righty, he'll call that part of the plate, lower part of the zone.
There's a pitch that's low. Well, nowadays they have so many stats on everything related to players. They keep track of umpires as well.
There's no doubt.
and he's known as a strike caller.
And they're strikes. It's not like they're out of the strike zone. They're hitting the bottom part of the zone.
There's one that's chopped foul near the plate, 1-2.
And all umpires seem to have, some are low ball umpires, some are high ball umpires, call more inside, more outside. And as a pitcher, you have to make those adjustments, just like you do against a hitter.
Yep.
Same thing for a hitter. When you know a guy like a John Hirschbeck's going to call the outer part of the strike zone, you got to be aware. You got to use that other part of the field when he's umping.
Here's the 1-2. That's low. Jose Alvarez has joined Mike Morin in the Angels bullpen. So we'll see how far CJ goes in this inning.
I'm guessing Mike Morin will be available for Nelson Cruz.
There's one fouled off on the right side, backing out of play.
Depending if you get the first 2 outs of this inning. Nice play by a fan down there. Second deck here at Safeco, right field.
Two balls and 2 strikes the count. There's a shot hit right to Ibar. Hardly had a move. Retires Gutierrez on the liner. Angel fans, don't forget, it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WestDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile.
Well done, Terry.
Here's Cano. Robinson Cano, an 0 for 2 night. Scary moment his last time up when he was hit right around the helmet, not too far from the flap of the helmet. 1-0 pitch. Lifts this one in the air into center field. Going back is Trout, still back, and he makes the catch. Mike Trout kept going back on it and was able to reach up and nab it out there on the warning track.
I love what I've seen from Mike Trout. He's playing more shallow, but he's so comfortable going back on the baseball. Without a doubt, in my opinion, the best center field he has played in his career in the major leagues. He's been outstanding going back. What a play he made, because that ball was rocketed by Robinson Cano. Reaches up just in front of the wall. Great play by Mike Trout.
That's also going to be it for C.J. Wilson, as the Angels are going to make a move to the bullpen. So C.J. will be lifted here. And when we get back, it looks like Mike Morin trotting in from the Angels left field bullpen. Pitching change coming up in Seattle.
After going 6 2/3, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 punchouts, 4-1 his last 5 starts. Not a bad effort by CJ tonight. Mike Morin in the game now for the Halos.
And his first pitch on Nelson Cruz. He's taking that one, and it's in there for a strike.
Not quite the same pitcher because he hasn't been able to get ahead of the count. Got ahead of the count here. You need to be more consistent and then utilize your off speed.
Next delivery, that's fouled up on the right side, backing out of play.
Boy, what a big part of the bullpen Mike Morin was last year. Mike Scioscia would love to see him get back to where he was last year.
Morin is ready. And the next pitch, this one is lined in the gap in left center field. It's going to bounce all the way out to the warning track. Just getting to the ball is Trout. Cruising into second is Nelson Cruz with a leadoff double.
And that's an 0-2 pitch. Fastball inner half. Good velocity behind it, but location on an 0-2 pitch, too much to the plate. And Cruz, 4th time he's on base with 3 hits and a walk.
Yeah, he leads off against Morin here with a double, but we do have 2 outs in the inning.
That's a great reaction, by the way, from Carlos Perez. You see him drop his head because you know he wanted that pitch in a different location. They're going to walk, it looks like.
Left-handed hitting Seager, yep. First base is open, and they'll try their luck with Trumbo. Seager was never retired by C.J. Wilson. A couple of singles and a walk. So this will be the 5th walk of the night by Angels pitching. Angels have been blanked on 3 hits so far tonight. Seattle 3 runs. They have 6 hits. And 2 on with 2 outs here in the 7th. And here's Trumbo. He's had an RBI hit, a walk. He's also struck out. Infield is back with 2 outs. Trout is shading Trumbo a little bit towards right center. Here's the pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike.
Well, that was a good tight slider from Mike Morin. Didn't overthrow it. Perfect location.
Trumbo backs out of the box. Morin a year ago had such success with that changeup of his.
But he hasn't been able to get ahead of the count to utilize that pitch.
Right. Here's the pitch. There's one popped into left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Going into third is Cruz. He's heading home. The throw is late. He'll score. So Trumbo drives in his 2nd run tonight. He's been hot. Had a good series here and even had a solid series when the Tigers were here before the Angels. It's now 4-0 Seattle. And Mike Scioscia is heading right back out to the mound to make another pitching change.
What do we say about Trumbo? Anything high, that's a high changeup. He gets his hands up and through the baseball on high pitches as well as anybody we've seen crush that ball for an RBI single.
So Morin will be lifted. He did not retire any of the 3 that he faces. And the Angels will be bringing in the left-hander Jose Alvarez. Pitching change here in the 7th. 4-0 Seattle. save. 2-1 record. ERA 3.57. He'll face a left-handed batter, Logan Morrison. This will be his first time up tonight, as he is now at first base for them, hitting out of Montero's spot. 4-0 Seattle. They've also brought in a pinch runner at first base. Dustin Ackley is running for Trumbo, so he figures to replace him in left field as well. Here's the pitch, and that's in there for a called strike. 0-1 on Morrison. .230 batting average. The Angels can ill afford to get down by many more. Only 6 outs to play with in this game, down 4-0. Here's the pitch. That one is low. 1-1.
Boy, it's amazing. Even though Iwakuma came in this game with high ERA, but he still has that to tap into what he's done throughout his career against the Angels. And after that first inning, he really has settled down, has been solid since that strikeout of Albert Pujols in the first inning.
Yeah, I've been surprised by his outing because he was really struggling this season. And first game back off the DL, hit around by the Tigers. There's ball 2 on Morrison. 2-1. This outing tonight for Iwakuma. I mentioned some teams have had scouts looking at him going back to that start against Detroit, and I'm sure there are more here tonight. Another team that was here scouting him in his last start, the Blue Jays. That was on Monday. Here's the next pitch. That's chopped foul right by the plate. 2-2 the count.
I believe there's going to be some trades being made, some big trades. Even though there's a lot of teams still in contention, whether it's for the division lead or the wild card races, there's some big names that could be available. Some teams that have some players. Look at San Diego is one of those clubs that may have some huge names available from the trade deadline.
Right. And they would figure if they're going to be active to be sellers more than buyers.
Yes.
Seattle, it's kind of wonder which direction they might go, buyers or sellers at the deadline. 2-2 pitch, fouled back behind the plate.
One thing about Seattle, they were around this same mark last year, and they caught fire. With their pitching staff, if Iwakuma can pitch like this, all of a sudden, Willie McClendon's club has got to feel pretty comfortable about thinking they could get back in this race.
It could be getting Paxton back. He's a guy that's had trouble staying healthy, though, but when he has been healthy, he's been very good.
And Walker, we see him tomorrow. He's been throwing the ball much better.
Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden, they got a solid rotation. Mark Trumbo, he's starting to get hot. He's got a couple hits here in this game. Nelson Cruz has been crushing the ball.
2-2 on Morrison. Next pitch. A little bloop into shallow left. That's going to drop in and drive in another run. Oh, he didn't hit it very good at all. Just kind of flared it over the infield. And now it's 5-0 Seattle.
That's why as a hitter, you just try to make contact. So often we talk about strikeouts during the course of the game. A lot of strikeouts in baseball of late. But if you put it in play, some good things can happen. That's what Logan Morrison did. Flared that into the outfield for an RBI single. Looks like a line drive. He was jammed, but still put in play.
That run will go against Morin. Here's Miller batting. 7th hitter in the inning. First pitch. Low.
Yeah, when you go back to that pitch by Alvarez against Morrison, that was an elevated breaking ball in the inner half of the plate. If it's down in a way, he has them. Most flares in the outfield are elevated pitches.
Count even up now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ackley is the runner at second. Morrison on at first. This inning started off with C.J. Wilson retiring the first 2. Here's the next pitch. That's in there. Alvarez, the third pitcher in this inning for the Angels. The Mariners have had 4 straight reach base safely with 2 outs. The Angels step up in the 8th. Perez, Giavotella, and Calhoun. Here's the 1-2. Low, 2-2. Big crowd here tonight. Over 40,000. Nelson Cruz bobblehead night. There's one chopped on the right side, right at Giavotella, flips the high bar, and they get the force out at second on Morrison. It ends on a 4-6 fielder's choice, but a couple more runs for Seattle as we head to the 8th. They lead it 5-0.
As we head into the 8th inning here at Safeco Field. Kent French back with you. And don't forget, following this one, it's all about Angels Live postgame presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. But guys, I want to tell you about a great story that happened prior to this game. The honorary first pitch was thrown out by Evelyn Jones celebrating her 108th birthday. Felix Hernandez came out. He caught about a 2-foot strike from Evelyn. Everybody got up on their feet saying happy birthday. She had a birthday cake as well, and I found out later that she's pretty much still very self-sufficient. She cooks dinner for herself every single night. So happy 108th to Evelyn, and here's to many more, guys.
All right, thanks, Ken. And Carlos Perez gets ready to lead things off. Angels down 5-0 as we start off the 8th inning.
She looks fantastic.
Here's the pitch, and that one is a strike.
What a great moment that was. King Felix was out there. He was clapping and high-fiving. The fans went nuts. It was awesome. What a great moment that was.
Evelyn Jones, as Frenchie mentioned, 108 years old, and she has an 85-year-old daughter. And I saw an interview with her a couple of days ago on the television. The reporter asked her if she was ready to throw out tonight's first pitch. There's a pitch that's low. She said with a straight face, "I've been ready for 108 years."
And she not only looks great, she is quick.
Yep, that was a good line. Still has a great sense of humor at age 108. Here's the 1-2 on Perez. That one is low. Iwakuma's done a very good job of mixing up the pitches tonight. Pitch count still manageable. 92 pitches he's thrown. He's retired 10 in a row. 21 of the last 23. Here's the next pitch. This is fouled back, not too far away from our booth. Out of play.
Iwakuma last inning threw 7 total pitches, all 7 strikes. That's when you know you're on a roll. And those 7 pitches weren't down the heart of the plate. Inside, outside, up and down, changes speed.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that one is tipped foul back behind the plate. Day baseball tomorrow, and then after that game, that'll take us into the All-Star break. And the Angels resume play coming out of the break. That'll be next Friday, the 17th. The Red Sox will be at the Big A, followed by the Twins and the Rangers. There's one chopped deep in the hole. It's short. Miller has a long throw to first base, and he got it there in time. That was a nice play by the shortstop. Brad Miller went away.
Well, when you're struggling as far as a batting average, that's what happens. He's hit 3 baseballs extremely well. And a great play at second, a great play at third, now a great play at short against Carlos Perez. Ends up being 0 for 3, but easily could have been 3 for 3. That's a great arm by Miller.
Yeah, it really was. More action for Seattle. They have Bimo, the lefty, and Lowe, the right-hander, up once again. Here's Giovitella at the plate. Fouls that one back just below us out of play. 0-1 to count on Giovitella, who's gone 0 for 2 with a walk. Really, the only scoring opportunity the Angels have had tonight was in the very first inning. Had them loaded with no outs, but failed to score. Here's Iwakuma's pitch. Outside corner, called strike.
He's faced 28 batters in this game, 24 first pitch strikes. Not once in this game he's been in behind the count 2-0. It's like Hector last night faced, I think he had 28 batters, 22 first pitch strikes.
There's one fouled off on the left side. Well, normally when you throw strikes, good things happen.
When you look on the other end, CJ faced 30 batters, 16 first pitch strikes.
Almost 50-50.
And CJ did a pretty good job. He limited the damage.
Yeah.
Ends up being a quality start. 6 2/3 is 3 earned runs allowed.
0-2 on Giovitella. He bounces it right back to Iwakuma. Easy play. He'll throw him out. 2 are gone. Cole Calhoun will be the batter. Iwakuma pitched 11 years in Japan. Won over 100 games there. He was a 15-game winner for Seattle last season. He was an all-star for them in 2013. And we talked about it. This guy throws strikes. Look at the breakdown tonight. Very impressive. Here's the pitch on Cole Calhoun. That one is cut on and missed. The count. No balls, 1 strike.
That's right. Remember back in the first inning you talked about his slow pace he had. And all of a sudden he's kicked in another gear. He's not wasting any time.
Yeah.
Even in between innings, he's ready to throw the first pitch before he even come back from commercial break.
100 pitches he's thrown, 72 of them for strikes. Here's the next one. That ball's ripped into right field, but it's right at Cruz. And that's how the inning will end. Iwakuma pitching quite well for Seattle, blanking the Angels 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Bring in Vinny Pistano. We saw him in last night's ball game, and Pistano, who just rejoined the Angels, got roughed up last night. In fact, he ended up facing just 2 batters. He hit the first batter he faced, and then he gave up a home run to the next batter, Mark Trumbo, and then he was taken out. So Vinny Pistano certainly hoping to have a little better luck here tonight as he gets ready to work in the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-0 Seattle.
I think the important thing for Vinny is to be able to get back to getting a good secondary pitch. He's kind of fallen into fastball only because he hasn't had a feel for his slider.
Faces the 9-hole hitter Zunino, who's gone 0 for 2. And here's the pitch. That's outside. It misses. First pitch fastball.
And that's been the consistent theme with him for Vinny this year. Last year, no, he was very solid for the Halos, just falling behind in the count.
Right-hander against right-hander. Next pitch. This is skied in the air on the right side of the infield. Let's see who's going to take charge. It looks like C.J. Cron across from the first base bag. That's out number 1.
Boy, Zunino can hit some high pop-ups. I remember when Dave Kingman used to be at the old Kingdome hitting those high pop-ups. He would get close to hitting that roof, which it wouldn't have bothered me to knock that down, but that's another story.
So here is Austin Jackson. Seattle leadoff man is 0 for 4 tonight. Pistano's pitch, that's outside. Heaney against Walker tomorrow afternoon. Here's the next pitch. Lifted in the air to right field. Easy play for Cole Calhoun. Camps under, squeezes it. 2 are gone. Gutierrez is scheduled to bat. Seth Smith is going to bat for him. Left-handed batter batting for Gutierrez, who went 0 for 4. Mark Lowe continues to loosen up for Seattle. We could be seeing him when we get to the top of the 9th. And out away from there. Angels trailing at 5-0. And there's a pitch in there for a called strike. Shift is on with the pinch hitter Seth Smith at the plate. He's hitting .262. And the next delivery, he rips that one on the right side. It's a fair ball. It's going to bounce around down in the right field corner. Calhoun just getting to it. Smith will coast into second, and he is there with a pinch hit double.
When he went down and got that slider down and in, took that down the right field line for a 2-out double. Seth Smith.
So Cano will bat. He's had an 0 for 3 night. Last time he was up, Trout made a nice play on a ball that was drilled out to center field. Cano with a little 5-game hitting streak on the line as he digs in here for his 5th at bat of the night. Takes that one low.
And Terry, under most circumstances in this scenario with an open base, Mike Scioscia would probably walk Robinson Cano, but the way Nelson Cruz has swung the bat this season and tonight, 3 hits and a walk, can't take that chance.
Would have done that last year when they didn't have that protection behind them. Cano backs out of the box. Time called. The Angels have been blanked tonight on 3 hits and only 1 hit since the first inning. Here's Cano skying one in the air into shallow left center. Ibar will get peeled off as Joyce will make the call and catch, and that is how the inning will end. Angels need some runs. We're headed to the 9th inning. It's 5-0 Seattle. Take over. He replaces Iwakuma, and boy, what a night it was for Iwakuma. Mark Lowe's done a very good job for Seattle as well. 27 games, no wins, no losses, low ERA. And he will face the Angels here in the ninth. The starter, Iwakuma, allowed only 3 hits in 8 innings, no runs, a couple walks, 6 strikeouts. He retired the last 13 in a row. And he also set down 24 of the final 26 batters that he faced.
And he was certainly impressive. And Lowe, former Angels, throwing the ball very well. Velocity, fastball velocity for him right now, 93 to 97. Hard slider, still throws a lot of sliders. 45% of his pitches are sliders, 55 fastballs.
So the first batter Lowe will face is Mike Trout. We start the 9th inning. And here's the pitch. It's right in there for a called strike. Lowe was in AAA at the start of the season. Appeared in 7 games there, got called up, and since they brought him up, he has really pitched well. 0-1 on Trout. In there for a called strike. 0-2 the count.
You know, he's always had a very good arm, but he's always been behind in counts and forced to throw the fastball. And when he get ahead and throw a slider, he's a very tough pitcher to hit against.
Here's the next delivery. This is popped in the air into shallow right field. Coming in, making the catch on it is Cruz. 1 gone here in the 9th. Over Pujols, the next batter.
We jammed him with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
2013 season was the year that Mark Lowe pitched briefly for the Angels. Lowe was released by the Rays and the Indians last year. Signed with Seattle during the offseason, a minor league deal, and he's kind of resurrected his career now. First one, a strike on Albert. 0 for 3 night for Albert Pujols. And here's the pitch. That one a little bit low. Check the swing. 1-1 to count. Albert has tailed off a little bit. He's actually just 2 for his last 20. He's been hitting home runs, but it's not like he's sizzling hot right now. Here's the 1-1, and that one is low.
And he's had some pretty good pitches to drive. It just missed him.
Yeah.
Got to get back to that same approach when he got real hot. He started using the other side of the field and then bringing that fastball in, and that's when he was turning on it, crush it out to left.
Albert's batting average now 257. Here's the pitch, and he takes that one for a strike. 2-2 to count. Low, as Mark mentioned, he's got a power arm, fastball, slider, changeup. Ibar waiting on deck. Angels have 2 more outs to try and get something going. Here's the next pitch. That's low. And the count full on Albert. 3-2. See what gives on the payoff delivery. Here it comes, and he walked, or no, boy, that was a pitch that Pujols thought he walked on. He was trotting to first base. Pitch was called a called third strike. 2 outs here in the 9th.
And that pitch is off the plate and down. Zunino reaching for that one, and it's down out of the strike zone.
Yeah, that was a bad call. But again, Eddings has been calling strikes all night long.
Yeah, you said that from the get-go.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it any better when you're a hitter. As a pitcher, you like it.
So here's Ibar. The Angels are down to their final out, and the pitch, that one misses low and away. Ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. The last 15 Angels have been retired in a row. hot bats have been quieted tonight. Here's the next pitch. In there for a called strike. Angels this season have been shut out 4 times.
The last time was back against San Diego, May 26th. So it's been a while. 4 home runs they hit last night.
Yeah. 1-1. Swung on and missed. And now the Angels are down to their final strike in this ballgame. Freeze would be up next. They're on their feet here in Seattle. Crowd over 40,000, and most of them are still here, waiting for the final out. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Did Ibar go around on that one on the appeal? Third base umpire Bill Miller says he was holding. 2-2. Now, if the Angels drop this game, the Angels will be a half game behind the Astros. They lost earlier today. They were shut out at Tampa Bay. Here's the 2-2. Grounded on the right side. Scooped up there by Morrison. Throws wildly and by the pitcher covering as that ball ends up bouncing on over by the Seattle dugout.
Collision with the elbow looked like Mark Lowe covering the base and Eric Ibar in the helmet area, the head.
So that'll be scored an infield hit, and that is only the 4th hit tonight for the Angels and the first one since the 4th.
You see him reaching up, and then the elbow right on the head of Eric Ibar. Adam Nebula, trainer's going to go down, and Mike Socha is going to make sure that Eric's okay. Have to go through that protocol to make sure there's no concussion type from that elbow.
Eric trying to convince everyone he's okay. I'm sure he's feeling it, though. And he will stay in the ball game, the 2-out runner at first base.
See as Mark Lowe's trying to find the baseball. He gets hit, the collision with the body, arm area, right on the helmet. Right on that ear, the flap of the helmet.
So Freeze gets a chance to do something with 2 outs here in the 9th. There goes Ibar. They weren't holding him, and the pitch cut on and missed. That'll be defensive indifference there. Ibar moves up to second. Freeze has had a quiet night, a line out and a couple strikeouts. Been a quiet night for most of the Angel hitters, only 4 hits tonight. Oh, 1. That's in there for a called strike. Took something off the fastball there. So the Angels once again down to their final strike. Here's the pitch. Low. Good block by Zunino. This might be one, Gooby, the Angels will just have to turn the page on.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where Iwakuma just threw the ball exceptionally well, some good at-bats, and a great defensive play in the first inning by Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, you look at it now, that was a game-changing play. You don't usually see it happen that fast in a ball game. Here's the 1-2, and that one is cut on, and this struck him out, and that's how the ball game will end. So the Mariners blank the Angels here tonight in Seattle. Angels shut out on only 4 hits tonight here at Safeco Field.
Yeah, Iwakuma was a story, but the 4th, 5th, and 6th batters for Seattle tonight, 7 hits, that including Seager, Nelson Cruz, Mark Trumbo had 7 hits amongst the 9 they had in the entire game. So that middle part of the order effective. That great defensive play by Cruz and a solid effort by Iwakuma on the mound did the Angels in.
Gooby, see you here tomorrow afternoon.
Great job, Terry.
Final score once again tonight here in Seattle. Mariners blank the Angels 5-0. Stick around for Angels Live postgame presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. It's coming up next.